Welcome to New Awakenings with Edgar, Cayce's A.R.E, where we have some beautiful conversations that are designed to help inspire all of us as we either begin or continue our journey to enlightenment. We're your hosts, Karen and Will.
And we have a very exciting guest today. He's a generational prophetic dreamer and intuitive. He's a certified master NLP practitioner, a certified master clinical hypnotherapist, and host of a very popular podcast, Happy Insights. His spiritual journey began in 1995 when he dedicated his life to the exploration of metaphysical disciplines after a near-death experience inspired a dramatic awakening.
He is also an author, and he has written the book, The Intuition Bible, How and Why to Tap into Your Inner Wisdom. And although he lives in Los Angeles, he happily teaches and shares his proprietary subconscious manifestation methodology worldwide. We are thrilled to have him here with us today. Welcome to the show, Happy Ali.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you as well. I got to get right to it. Prophetic dreamer, right? You just like sleep and like get images or what? How? What? Huh?
It is a blessing and a curse. So
I bet. Yeah.
Get to see the future in my dreams, and I go to sleep, never knowing when I'm going to get something. But every death, every birth in the family in the last 20 years, every pregnancy, even when I'm going to go on a good date and how well it's going to be, like all of that gets to be previewed in my dreams. And in the beginning, it was kind of, because my family can do it, my mom's side of the family. But in the beginning, it wasn't really honed the way that it is now. Now there's like a time limit. Like if someone is gonna die, we know we have 2 months max. Or, but the births are very different. There's a much larger time span for the births because I think they're planned a lot earlier. So you can see it on the energetic level first. But I think deaths are pretty much, when it's at the point of no return, it's about 2.5 months.
Gotcha.
I think I would be afraid to go to sleep.
I was just going to go there.
Do you ever just have like a nightmare, just a regular nightmare, and it freaks you out? Because I would just be like...
I had a nightmare for the first time because I am really a happy person. And usually when you're really happy and you process things during the day, you don't get to have nightmares.
Oh.
It's a really good benefit of working through your issues during the day so that your subconscious doesn't have to deal with it at night. And this week I did a Tony Robbins seminar, and he made us feel all these negative things and amplified it so we can like dissociate it or associate it with our negative beliefs so we can kind of let it go. And then that night I had a dream that my son, one of my twins, was in the gas chamber and was dying, and I had to grab him and take him to the urgent care, and they were taking care of him. They're like, don't worry, he's fine, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. And then I woke up so freaked out because the last time I had a dream like that, I had another son that passed away in 2014, and that was, it was PTSD. It just came up, and I was thinking, what are we gonna do? And then, thank God, we went to the dentist like the day before yesterday, and for the first time he's had a cavity, and they said we're gonna gas him. And I thought, oh my God, oh my God. I was just, because he didn't die in the dream,
right?
But as soon as they said we're gonna gas him, gas, I said okay, but well, I'll know in 2 months.
Oh my God!
Tick tick.
See, no, and that's a terror. We're gonna gas him. No, you say we're gonna give him some laughing gas. That just sounds so much better.
We're gonna give him laughing gas. We're gonna gas him. He's gonna be fine. And then, but in the dream, it was probably the most traumatic thing I've experienced since actually the death of my 4-year-old in 2014. It was very dramatic, but at the same time, it's really, really comforting. For example, my son died in a car accident, which, it's like people will think it's a freak accident. But I had the dream about him and his mother dying 2 months in advance and in the morning before the accident. So when you have dreams like that, it really does make it feel like it's meant to be and there was nothing you could do to stop it. So it really is a blessing as much as you think it's not. Or when my grandmother died, I had enough time to prepare for her death and I grieved her way in advance. But the thing is, she's the one who gave me the gift. So she was already telling me, she's like, I'm dying, honey. The whole family is sitting here. Wait, the dead family, the ones that have passed, they're all here sitting, just waiting for me.
Wow.
So it's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I guess it gives you time to celebrate that person.
Yeah.
You know, you got a two-month celebration coming your way. But do you have dreams with just people that you know, or do you dreams about people that you've never met before?
You know, I think for any intuitive or psychic person, your intentions of what you want to do with your abilities or your extrasensory perceptions is really important. And mine is really just to direct me in my life and really help me with my life. And I don't want to interfere with other people. So I feel that when it comes to my dreams, the ones that I do remember are very specific to people that I will mourn or I will affect, and it has something to do with me. But I know if my intention was to do readings or to have, prophetic dreams for other people, I could easily do it. It's just a matter of what your brain decides to filter out based on your intention. So, does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah, I never
Makes
thought
perfect
about that.
sense. Yeah.
I just thought just whatever comes when you're dreaming comes when you're dreaming.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not even in your dreaming. It's when you're just picking up energy in the room or anything else, that when you're picking up any non-physical entities or energies, your intention and your level of boundary setting is what really makes the huge difference. Because what you intend is what you get. That's basically it. We get so much information coming at us at the same time, and then our brain has to basically shrink it down to the tiniest amount of information, to 50 bits of information from 11 million. And so that it really matters what you believe, what you think, what you intend, because your brain wants to make sure it gives you the right 50 per second, so it doesn't really want to waste your time and give you more than you can handle.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you got these gifts from your grandmother, but also from my understanding is you had a near-death experience that helped kind of awaken your abilities. Tell us about that.
That was intense.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get too much into details about how the death experience or the near-death experience happened, but I want to tell you what happened. I went to sleep thinking I was going to die, and I was, I had stuff in my system that was going to kill me, and my gag reflexes kicked in, and I threw it all up, but I still went to sleep. And I think when I went to sleep thinking that I was going to die, I released all resistance, and my frequency just went to the other side or wherever it was. And I didn't see the light like more normal people, the usual NDE, because everyone has the same story. Mine was more like a darkness, but I could see that I had unresolved issues with certain people, and that was very important. And then just this feeling of love and just warmth. And then when I woke up with more information downloaded in my brain than I could have probably accumulated in lifetimes, or books and books and books combined. So I woke up understanding energy, reincarnation, our purpose in life, or how to be happy. That's where my name originated. It was in 1995, it was a long time ago. And I told people, and they thought I was crazy, because it was the 90s, and there wasn't a lot of internet, banter or talk about this kind of stuff. We had one bookstore you could go to.
Yeah.
If you find a book that happens to talk about it, that you'd be lucky. But I really just woke up a new person with a purpose to help others. And I was 17, so no one really wanted to hear a 17-year-old talk or give advice.
Wow.
So I kind of just sat on it and listened to my family. They said, "You're an artist, become a makeup artist." And then there was one day where I just woke up and I just said, I can't refuse my calling anymore. I need to go into this. And the more I learned about spirituality and about energy and about how it all works on the non-physical realm, the more it confirmed what I downloaded that night. It was never contradicting with the information that I got that night.
Do you think things like this, do you have to go through, either it's in your lineage or you have to go through near-death experience or something traumatic for these abilities to pop out in you?
It's kind of a variable because certain people will really dedicate their lives into silencing their five senses, because your five senses are so loud and they're designed to have you live in this world and be able to survive, basically. But people dedicate their lives to quieting their mind and quieting their five senses, and they're able to slow down their brain waves and tap into the inner world and receive information at will. And then there are people who don't do that, and they might have a soul contract or destiny to do something great or do something different or do something spiritual, and they're just not doing it. So then you have to get knocked upside the head for you to wake up. And I'm one of those people that the universe keeps having to hit me in the head because I'm so busy doing 50 million things at once.
You and I are kindred spirits, my friend. I totally understand.
That's right. So waking up, I think, I imagine it's very different for everybody. We've heard people say they hear voices or they see things or they become more clairsentient. Some people say it's just these thoughts that pop into your head or your intuition. Is there like a correlation between instinct and intuition and psychic abilities? Are they the same? Are they different? What's your take on that?
Completely different. Well, intuition and psychic abilities are more intertwined. Instinct is really just about survival. So, and it is carried through your lineage, through your DNA, to be able to survive and live as long as you can on planet Earth. Okay. So it's the kid's instinct to grab a finger when they, when you hand it to them, the baby, as soon as they're born, or if there's something really loud, you hear a really loud noise, you jump. There's certain things that it's just made to allow your survival. And it comes from within because it feels like it's kind of like intuition, but it's not guiding you towards something, it's guiding you away from something. And then intuition, so it's kind of keeping you safe. And its whole system is designed to keep you safe. That's instinct. But it comes from within, so it could feel confusing. Someone's like, "Oh, I'm so worried about this. It must be my intuition." And I always say, if you're really worried, that's just your instincts telling you, to do something. But your intuition, and first of all, the first one is based more on the root chakras because it's about security and safety. And then intuition is more about being guided towards something that's related to your path and your destiny, and really tapping into the inner wisdom to be able to figure out what the best path for you is and tap into your higher self. And that's more the heart and the third eye chakra. And it's really about just connecting to the world and your own purpose. And then psychic abilities are more about receptivity, being able to receive subtle information that's in the air, it's in the ethers, talk to loved ones, talk to dead people, people that have passed, see energies, and that's more of just an extrasensory perception to be able to just see things or read minds almost. You hang out with someone, they're about to say something, you just hear it in a distance. That's more psychic abilities, but intuition and psychic abilities kind of are clumped together. So when I wrote my book, I didn't really want to use the word psychic because it has a way of turning certain people off, or
connotation,
a little stigma-ish.
Yeah, so I just use the word intuition, how to tap into your inner wisdom, because I believe that everything in this universe is outside of what's in your logical mind is intuition. It is tapping into your like infinite knowledge. It's like tapping into a well of information. And that could be anything. I mean, I talk to my dead son still, and he did this beautiful thing for me this time. He died on April 17th. His birthday was November 8th. This is 11 years ago. And I was really kind of, I like to be sad. I allow myself to be sad on the day that he died, and sometimes on his birthday. But this year I said, just give me a sign. And then I got a call from the Edgar Cayce. Is it foundation or is it, what is it? It's
the Association for Research and Enlightenment.
Yes, but for the conference for this year. So I got a call on April 17th, which is the day that he died, for me to speak at the conference and teach a workshop on November 8th, which is his birthday. So sometimes, so the psychic information sometimes are not necessarily that psychic. It's like the dead can communicate with you in such beautiful ways. And I knew that was my son's way of saying hi.
Right.
He was like, I'm just going to do this. What are the chances of getting that information on that day to be booked on that particular day?
And I would take it a step further and say it's his way of saying, Dad, you don't have to be sad on my birthday or the day that I died, because look, here's a way for you to get through that, right?
Yeah.
Good things can happen on these days.
Take this and share it with people. Share your experience. That is beautiful. Wow.
I know. I got the chills right now. I can tell. I always know when he's present, and I think he's present right now with me, at least.
That's awesome.
He's watching the show.
Well, how can someone develop their intuition? If I want to develop my intuition, how do I do that, Happy?
Okay, first of all, it has to matter to you. Because if it doesn't matter to you, then it's not going to be prioritized. Like I said, there's a lot of data that we're receiving right now. There's so much information in my body. There's so much information that's coming from the ethers, energy. There's all the sight that I see, all my 5 senses. So if it doesn't matter to me, or I don't think that tapping to my intuition is important, it's just that's already like dismissing a lot. Your brain will dismiss it. Okay. Because your brain, if it doesn't resonate, it dismisses. So that's first thing.
So you have to be deliberate.
You have to think it's important. You have to say, there is value in being intuitive. For example, right now there's a lot of different opposing views on the world. And I might say, you know what, I need to tap in to make sure that the world's okay, or I'm going to be okay.
Right.
And, or I'm out to travel to Iran, which is where I'm from, and everyone's telling me not to go because there's travel advisories, but I really want to go see my dad. So I have to, that's those moments where I'm like, can I tap in? Let me tap in. So it's important to me. So because it's important, if it's important to you, that's the first activation. The second activation is that you have to believe that you are capable of being intuitive. And it's a birthright. Everyone has it. It's just like your inner, you have sight. I know some people aren't born with sight, but you have sight and you have inner sight. You have sensations and you have inner sensations. So once you find past experiences where you were intuitive, you start reinforcing the idea that, okay, I can do this. It's not just Happy that does it. And that's the second one. And then you have to actually find time to do some practices and exercise as more of a playful kind of exercise. But let me tell you something about intuition. When it's necessary, it'll show up. It'll show up whether you believe it or not. If it's something that you need to be guided towards, it will find you. And it will be louder than usual. But when you're just doing it for fun and you have no real, I just say, let me see if I can do this. It doesn't work. My best friend and I, she's an amazing medium, and I'm an intuitive, we've been trying to guess each other's clothes, the color of each other's clothes, for about 5 years now, and we haven't gotten it right once. Like, are you wearing purple? She's like, nope, wearing gray today.
Oh, that's funny.
That's awesome.
You know, I want to kind of step back to something that you said earlier when you were talking about instincts and intuition. Say you hate to fly, okay, and you've got this flight coming up, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, the plane's going to crash. How do you know that's just not your normal fear of flying that you always have, and oh my gosh, the plane's going to crash? How can you tell?
You know, it's really a subtle difference, but I've got to tell you, the thing about intuition and when you tap into your higher self is that it kind of guides you away from something, or it kind of blocks the doors that would allow you to get into that tragic experience. For example, it will close doors for you. It will cause a traffic jam, or it will do something where it would cause your timing to be off so you'd miss that flight. There's so many people when 9/11 happened, they were not there, and they were supposed to be in the buildings, but something told them not to go. But it wasn't something to scare them and say, well, you can't go there. It was something urgent that they had to be somewhere else. So usually it's the instinct is more like, oh no, something's gonna happen. And then intuition is, hey, go this way. This is the way to go. Okay. And it will guide you to another timeline or another just timing, basically a different timing to take you away. If you're living in fear, you're not really tapping into your intuition. You're closing
That's true.
a lot of your energetic senses, because the more you love and the more acceptance you have and the more open you are, the more you open up your energetic field, and the more you're able to get information that's more valuable. The more you live in fear, then you become crippled. And if you already have a fear of flying, for example, then you'll know, like, okay, I'm really scared of flying.
Yeah, you're gonna have that same feeling every time. So if it's way worse, then you're like, okay,
something's up, right?
But sometimes, you know, you can just sit it out. My sister, for example, had a dream that the flight was gonna crash or something, and she got this feeling. My sister lives very fear-based, but when you're in your dream world, and we're dreamers, she gets information much clearer than when it's in real life. She's the one that sends me every single negative news clippings, and I don't even open them. But she got a message that she was supposed to miss this flight, and she told her husband, she's like, we're missing this flight. And the flight didn't end up crashing, but it had to stop at a different airport, and then they had to stop, and they were delayed for 24 hours. And so she'll get stuff like that, but it's still, that's more her style. Her style, more fear-based.
Gotcha.
Mine would have, I probably would have just booked a different flight from the start.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are running out of time, so if someone wanted to reach out to you and connect with you, what's the best way for someone to do that?
Well, my website is happyinsights.net, which on that one I actually have a free hypnotherapy thing if people want, and they can kind of tap into their inner self, because I'm always about tapping into your inner self. But they can go to also to my Instagram, which is Happy Insights Official. So I'm everywhere. Or my Linktree Happy Insights. It's everything is there. And or Google me, Happy Ali, and everything just pops up.
All right. And I assume people can buy your book there on your website, or do they go to Amazon? How do they go?
They can buy my book anywhere, any website where the books are sold. Okay. I really recommend it. The book is designed to be a textbook of every single facet and aspect of the inner world. So I really wanted it to be one textbook when people are like, okay, if I want to learn about intuition, tapping to your inner wisdom, what's the one book? And it would be that one. And it has instructions as well. So it's an instruction manual and a textbook at the same time. So I think I recommend it big time.
It's all encompassing. It's the go-to, like the thesaurus or dictionary of this sort of stuff.
Or the Bible.
Or the Bible.
I know, my mom was so upset. She's like, why are you making it religious? I'm like, no, Mom, she doesn't speak English very well. I said, no. It just means the intuition source.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure meeting you, Happy. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you being here. That does it for this episode of New Awakenings with Edgar Cayce's A.R.E. If you missed any part of this interview or any of our others, all you need to do is go to edgarcayce.org/resources, and you'll find all of our episodes laid in there, so it's easy for you to catch up. We'll see you again on the next episode. Until then, this has been New Awakenings with Edgar Cayce's A.R.E.